In this video, we will be going over order blocks and whether or not you've heard of an order block. The first thing I want to say is sometimes if you type in order block, people actually say there's supply and demand, which is just not the case. And obviously, everyone's subject to their own opinion, but that's just clearly not the case. And supply and demand is just totally different. So, an order block. This is where I'm going to give my little friend a shout out because he actually has a really nice visual on this. And again, I'm showing you how accessible a bunch of resources from different people are. Okay, I'm not even trying to it's not like I'm being lazy or anything. I'm just showing there's a lot of people who make good resources on multiple different topics in the ICT community. So my good friend has this diagram, and this is a signature and price where you want to remember this. Now, the first time you look at it, it's probably not going to make sense, but hopefully by the end of this video, it will make sense. Okay, but save this, do whatever you want. You can find it on T-Trade's Twitter. It's a very, very. I'm gonna put this in my study channel. So I just put in my study channel, and you guys can use that if you like. It's in my study channel now. So if you go on my Discord, just go on the study channel. It will be sitting right there for you. All right. So shout out to T-Trades. Go drop them follow, and that's that. So an order block is defined in a few different ways, but I'm going to make it very simple. So an order block is basically I'm going to teach it the best way possible as I can, but ICT obviously teaches a little differently. The best order block I like to use is when we're kind of sandwiched between, it's a green candle that's sandwiched in between two red candles. Okay, so something like this. Let's say we get a formation like this. Let's say this is red, this is green, and this is red again. Okay, let me do this. Now, this could potentially be an order block. Well, what makes it a good order block versus a bad order block? All right. Well, it all depends on where we're coming off of. Okay. Now, for example, if we are coming off of some important level, let's say we swept some sort of buy side right here. Okay, let me just zoom in real quick. Let's say we swept some sort of buy side. Let's say this is our buy side here, and we get a red candle, sweeps it, and we come back down. And then we get this kind of formation. Well, when we get this red candle closing below this green candle or this up close candle, that puts an order block and likely tells us, okay, this order block is going to cause us to go much lower. Okay. Now, let's say the important level is up here. Let's say buy side's up here and we never really hit it. Well, then this order block right here is not going to be as good as if we were to hit an important level and then go back down. So some you can see there's a bunch of different examples of order blocks in a chart, but this would be a bearish order block. So a green candle could be a bearish order block, but it needs to be candle kind of sandwich. It could be a couple candles too. It could be something like this. Okay. Let me just turn this to green. So it could be this as well. And then obviously both these would be the order blocks. So you kind of draw a little zone like this. Okay. Now this is the typical representation of them. Okay. But when you see this formation off of an important level, after we close, and the key word is close, after this red candle closes beneath both these up close candles, that tells us we're probably going to go down further. Okay. So that's a bearish order block. A bullish order block is just the same thing, but just to the upside. So let's say we put a good bunch of green candles, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we get a random red candle, okay? But then we close back above the red candle, and it's just a singular red candle kind of sandwiched between the other candles. Well, most likely speaking, the second we close back above this, or the second the next candle closes back above this red candle, it just tells us we're likely to go much higher. Okay, and that's a bullish order block right there. So you can already kind of see an example here. Okay, you can see we have a down close move or down close candle. We get a green candle. Now, at this point, I don't know if it's going to be an order block or not. But then we get this. So I'm like, okay, this is definitely look like an order block. I expect us to now keep going down and not trade back above this green candle. And you can see we do. Now, what I typically do is I don't actually draw the whole zone or order block. Okay. What you want to do with an order block is you want to draw the open of the candle. So that being said, you want to draw like the open where it opens. And that's typically going to be your entry point. And then you do stop above, because a lot of times you'll actually see us respect the open of an order block. So this definitely isn't the strongest one here because this is a very wicky candle. But even right here, you can kind of see this red candle sandwiched between these two green candles. And you can kind of see we wick right down to the open of it. And you can see price clearly holds the open of it and shoots right up. Okay. So you can kind of see that's how that works. All right. Same thing with kind of right here. This is the open of this down close candle that's kind of sandwiched between this green candle and this green candle, and we get a big impulse move above it. And this impulse move above it kind of signifies, okay, we just activated an order block. And by activate, what I mean is we didn't really, this was not really an order block here. Okay, this was not an order block here. Here, it's still not an order block. Now we could be like, okay, we just closed way above this down close candle. It's kind of sandwich. Now we can say this is an order block. And again, technically it would be the whole candle, and we could bounce on you off of it. But a lot of times you'll tap or get really close to the open, and then that's where you could take a potential long setup. Okay, so I'm just going to go over a few more examples. Now, I will say something. You will need to watch a lot of order block videos. I do these little private classes in my Discord. I'm probably going to do the most on order blocks because people have a lot of questions about these. But I'm just going to keep going over repetitive examples. So we got another one here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to replay mode and be like, and just show you guys. So let's look for some live order blocks. So here we kind of just going down, not really. Nothing really makes sense here. So if we see price goes down here, goes down here, goes down here again. Okay, now we just formed a red order block here. Okay, this is a red down close candle, and you can see price clearly just kind of swept this low, got this red candle sandwiched between this green candle and now what's a new green candle here, and you can see we closed above it. Now saying that, okay, we're likely, because we set the low and because we got an order block here, let me just label it, we're likely to probably go higher here, okay? And we clearly do. And this is actually kind of very similar to what T-Trade's example said. So this is T-Trade's example. You can see we got the down close candle, sandwiched between a few green candles, whatever, and we sweep an important level. And when we trade back above that down close candle, you can clearly see it holds a support. And this is real support and resistance. This is not fake support and resistance. This is real institutional order flow. Now, you even got another example right here, all right? Right here, we get another red candle. But do I know this is going to be an order block at this point in time? No, I don't. The only way I know this is going to be an order block is if the next candle physically comes up and closes above that candle. So you can clearly see this green candle right here finally closes above this. And in my stream, like in live time, I will say this could be a potential order block at this candle. I will say that. Like, let's say this is live time. What I'll typically say to my stream is, okay, the bias definitely looks bullish. We got this OB. I would expect this to go higher if we got another green candle closing above this down close candle. Okay, and I will say that in my stream. Now, we watch the next candle play out. We see pretty good momentum, not a lot of wicks, and it does very well close above this candle. So now I'd expect us to go higher off of this open. And indeed, we tap the open here, and price just keeps continuing higher all the way to the highs. So you can kind of see they're very nice, like real support and resistance tools. Now, a lot of people might like, let me show you a bad order block, for example. This would be a bad one, okay? So this is a series of down close candles before not close move, which you can use 3 candles too. Like, this is fine because, again, you got to realize this could combine into one order block or one candle in the higher time frame, okay? But this is where in my stream I'd be like, okay, well, we swept this low, If we close above these 3 down close candles or get a green candle like this, this would be a order block. And for future reference, the other term is actually CISD. Okay, so change in state of delivery. And that's just what kind of T-Trades has. And it's because it changes the state of delivery. We hit an important level, and a candle tells us we're going to completely reverse. Okay, so that's, if you ever see CISD, that's another term. But let's say I'm live in my stream right now. And let's say, all right, I see 3 down close candles. We swept this low. If we get a nice big giant green candle that closes above the open that started these series of down close candles, that's going to tell me we're likely to go higher. So I play the next candle. But oh, the next candle looks like this. This next candle swept so much liquidity that this is not really a valid order block anymore. It's like we wouldn't use this for support anymore because we already swept too many highs. And again, in order for the market to move higher, we need to take out sell stops or sell side liquidity to go higher. And if we've already taken out all these buy stops, the chances of us going higher here are very not likely unless we actually go resweep sell stops again and then go up again. Okay. And that's where it's going to start. You're probably like, what? And that's really where it starts to get really advanced because you have to understand that even though, yes, the bias may be bullish to this high, think about it in terms of common sense. If you see a wick like this and it sweeps all these highs in one candle, but maybe not the last high, it probably doesn't have enough fuel to continue higher to this high unless we take out more stop losses. So that being said, common sense really tells us that, okay, if we came down back to this order block, it doesn't really make sense to buy off it because we've already taken so many stops here. We probably need to resweep the lows and then go higher again to kind of fuel ourselves to go back to the high. So see how that works there? And that's where it starts getting definitely advanced. And this is where half the people give up because they won't ever understand that. And it's too complicated for their minds to understand. And if that's you, I'm very sorry, but that's just, you have to know that part. So it took me a lot to learn that as well. It's just not easy, but yeah. Now, with this, is there any order blocks here? No. Technically speaking, you could say like this whole series is an order block. So from this green candle to here. Why? Because we get a series of green candles and then we get a series of red candles that finally closes below it. And you can see we come back up. We do reject it. So like some people will say this is an order block, but I personally don't like those ones. I like just a singular kind of candles just kind of sandwiched between each other. So like, this is just a perfect example right here. This up close candle. It's sandwiched between these two red candles. Very good example. It tells me we're likely to go lower here. Okay, especially after sweeping this high here. And then like here, this is another good example here. We have a series, again, it could be a series as well, of 4 red candles. And then nice momentum, closes back above that series of down close candles after sweeping a low or kind of coming out of another fair value gap here. And that just tells me once we close back above, probably likely to go higher. So you just need to identify the signature and price as I show here. Again, this could be a series. It doesn't have to be singular candle, but you don't want it to be too big of a range, if that makes sense. So like this would be a perfect example. Again, see how there's just a random red candle sitting in the middle of nowhere, this kind of sandwich between these two green candles. When we close back above that singular red closed candle, it validates us to probably go higher. Okay, same thing with like, you can kind of see, I mean, I'd probably use this. I mean, you could use these two, but these two, you can see this would be an order block here. Here would be an order block right here. So down close candle, then 2 up close candles kind of closing above those 2 down close candles that were sandwiched between this green candle here. All right, see that? And then that kind of validates this close above these 2 down close candles, validates us to go higher. So I personally use order blocks for order flow. It tells me kind of the trend. For example, if I'm not in a trade, but I see something like this, where we create a red candle and then we just close back above that sandwich red candle, that just tells me, okay, order flow is bullish. Don't look for shorts unless that maybe breaks, because you don't want to fade something like that where every single order block here's all being respected to the upside. This clearly is not bearish order flow because every single order block is being respected. Now, the last thing I will say is this is not a great order block. People are going to be like, well, why wouldn't this be? It's a red candle sandwiched between two green candles. Just look how wicky it is. You really want it to be like a pretty decent body. I mean, this is okay. This is okay. This is pretty good. I mean, these two candles are pretty big bodies. This candle just not really, doesn't look that strong. It's not really an institutional candle. This candle, great example. Okay, so down close candle, sandwich between two green candles. Nice momentum, closes back above it. That validates us getting an order block there. So again, use these to identify order flow. I do not use these as a entry, but some people might like them as their entry model. That's okay if you want to do that. And yeah, as you guys know, I use the IFEGs, which I'll teach about in the course later. And yeah, that's it for now. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will see you guys later. Peace.